Dyer's ban.
Hello everyone, this is
Radiant's
Amateur
ban.
Dota 2 League Season 3. My name is Berkeley, joining me is Rock, and this is Four
Dyer's
States
ban.
Casting. Now, this is game 2 of a
Radiant's
matchup between
ban.
Annie and XPC. Now, we saw a decisive win from Annie last match, so they had a really strong start. Started to waver because of the XPC Lifestealer pick during the mid game with that Midas pickup.
10
Started to
seconds
come
to
back
go.
into the game a little bit, won a couple of team fights, and it looked like they might be able to defend it.
5 seconds.
But then a huge team fight finished off XPC, and Annie took out top racks,
Reserve
middle racks,
time.
and went straight for the throne. So game 2 is going to be interesting to see how these guys. Now that they've seen each other play, how they counteract and change their
Radiant's
styles
pick.
to suit each other's picks and play styles. So yeah, how you feeling for after game 1, Rock?
Radiant's pick.
Now I'm not sure if Rock is.
I'm
able to
sorry
hear
there,
at the moment.
Bo.
We might be getting our stream set up.
Obviously, it wasn't coming through, but
All good.
look at these picks. Pretty exciting here. We've got a Veno for the first pick from Annie. Now, I think my memory was last time that they went straight for carries, didn't they? And it was XPC that was
Dyer's
banning out of
ban.
support. So I can't really remember, but anyway, interesting first
Radiant's
Veno pick
ban.
there, and an AA pick for XPC.
Yeah, we saw last game the Ancient Apparition as an immediate ban first up from XPC because they were going that Lifestealer pick as well as the Dazzle as a support, both of which
Radiant's
severely hampered by that Ancient Apparition ult, allowing for no regen. So yeah, now they're, instead of banning him, they're going to be picking him up and putting him into their own strat and a Weaver to pair with him, which is an interesting choice so soon in the draft. Usually you put a Weaver as 4th or 5th pick so that he doesn't get counterpicked so early. So I think it'll be really interesting to see what these guys go. They seem to know exactly what they want. Like there was a little bit of deciding and weighing as they wanted to do and using a lot of their time. But with this second game, they know.
Sorry there, Bo. We're just having a few difficulties with the stream there, so I'm just working with our
10 seconds to go.
IT minions in the background.
No worries, we'll have the stream up and running very soon for those watching on Twitch. For those on Dota TV, you guys will be having a nice easy time with this. So the Rubik pickup, really interesting now that we have the AA ult that can be stolen. We have the Weaver Shikuchi, which is an amazing pickup for Rubik because he can deal that damage, get through onto the other side and use his telekinetic pickup or telekinesis to pick up an enemy and really take them out of a fight for a short period of time. We could be seeing some early blood here. Now Slark could be in the with a Venomancer and Rubik. To allow for a pretty strong lane with the
10
Slark
seconds
Tether,
to go.
the Venomancer slow, and the Rubik telekinetic pickup. So
5 seconds.
XPC with their Ancient Apparition pick is going to be, I don't know how much this is going to do for them because Annie haven't picked up any sort of healing or regen. So while it does work overall for a team fight, I'm not sure how this is going to go.
Radiant's pick.
Okay, now Annie's picked up a very cool character here that I'm sure we all love to see, and that's Darkseer. Now, obviously he wants to pull that vacuum in with the Veno ulti, but it's going to be interesting to see what the last pick is, and I'm expecting that to be quite big in the AoE, like a Conquer,
Dyer's pick.
or
Yeah,
maybe
or an OD
Gyro.
even.
Oh, here we go, an OD.
There we- I feel a little bit of that. An OD bam, OD is picked. And so we see Timbersaw in the off lane. We're going to have Queen of Pain coming up against that OD. And while Queen of Pain stands up pretty well to the mid lane dominating outward Devourer, I think OD is still going to come out a little bit on top of that matchup. But the Abaddon and the Weaver pairing, very, very popular right now in the current meta with that aphotic shield to protect that Weaver, because the minute Weaver gets silenced or stunned, he is in a really bad way early in the game. So that Abaddon with the aphotic shield will stop any sort of slow or stun that's on him and debuff so that he'll be able to get away and Shikuchi out of trouble.
And also help him harass too.
5 seconds.
So what it does is it really beefs up Weaver early on, means he can Shikuchi through the opposing team on the lane, and it's devastating. So yeah, that's a really interesting and really nice little combo they've picked up there. And then I think AA is going to be supporting them as well, so they'll have a try.
Better get ready.
But it's not a kill lane. It definitely doesn't have stuns. It definitely doesn't have triple nukes or something. It's I think that's going to be just a harass lane, and I think we could be seeing a Slark, Venno, Rubik for the other tri lane, and that's a lot of kill potential.
Yeah, I think even though they're in a defensive tri-lane, and it looks like they're going to be up against an offensive tri-lane with the Weaver, Abaddon, and Ancient Apparition, it seems there's more kill potential in the defensive tri-lane than the offensive, which is an interesting setup to go, and sending out Timbersaw into the safe lane. So to introduce XPC here on the Radiant side, we have Masakari? Yeah, Masakari on the Timbersaw Timbersaw safe lane farming. We have Bogdan on the Queen of Pain mid. We've got Ancient Apparition, who's being played by Razvan, and the Abaddon, Sub-Zero, which is a good choice for playing in Abaddon, and Philly 97 on the offlane farming Weaver. And for the Dire, if you want to introduce those, Rock.
Yeah, definitely. Now up in that jungle area, that nice safe lane, we've got Venno.
Here we
with
go.
it's a Psychedelia on Venno. We have Lucci on the Slark, and we also have the Evu on the
Got a feeling
Rubik
this is
coming up
gonna
as
be
well.
good.
Mid lane we're going to have Ape on OD, and off lane we're going to have Murd on Darkseer. So pretty exciting. Let's get started.
Now, yeah, Darkseer's one of my favorite heroes to play. I love playing him offlane, and he's gone my personal favorite build, which is a Stout Shield and a recipe pickup for Soul Ring. So he's not going to have to go back to use the courier or go back to the fountain to get his Soul Ring recipe. He's just going to be able to pick up the last two components from the side shop and going to be able to rush a Soul Ring right out and spam that Ion Shell.
Yeah, that's nice. I haven't actually tried that build before, and that's quite interesting. I like that. I'm normally more of a little more regen, or I sometimes pick up the Sober Mask first, so I like that. I might give that a try. Now we got a bit of warding up here in the top lane. We've got, it looks like just sentries down at the moment, and also there is a observer on the ward, on the rune as well. So there's a regen rune sitting there, and it's going to be interesting to see who is dominating the runes early on.
Yeah, we see some extra damage with AA. AA is going to be giving the Weaver some extra right-click damage to not only last hit but harass really hard. And we see the two sentries trying to make sure that each other aren't warded, and they're just out of range of each other. And we see the second sentry put down in that camp to stop the pull or future pulls after this one.
Definitely right. This is
With
gonna
harass
be
that
very-
Rubik. Slark uses the debuff.
So we're going to see
I think that debuff on Slark was a little bit unnecessary.
using a bit of mana. Maybe he thought there was a little bit more damage to be had. So definitely very busy up there. Down bottom we also see an interesting matchup with Darkseer and Timbersaw. Both really good offlaners. And it looks like Timbersaw is copying a little bit of that harass from the Iron Shell, and I'm not too sure. Yes, it does. I think it does trigger his reactive armor, but it also does a lot of damage. So that's going to be affecting him in his last hits and his ability to farm.
Yeah, well, it is. He is currently at max charges of reactive armor, but with only one level, he's only got 4 charges right now, so he's regenerating at a rate of 5. The minute he gets his second level, that's when he's going to start healing almost as quick as the Ion Shell is going to be dealing damage. So Darkseer really has to make sure that he sticks equal with levels, because if he doesn't keep his Ion Shell equally leveled with that reactive armor, Timbersaw going to get to the stage where he can just stick it out and jump in against this this Ion Shell without any worries.
I'll lose its effectiveness. Yeah, I see what you mean. That's a good point. So it looks like top lane, they're kind of taking a little bit of a break, not a break, but they're just settling back into their lanes. As you saw, XPC went in there and aggressively warded the pull camp. So now we're just going to see just the lane activity as opposed to, well, they might try and pull to the hard camp, but there's quite a few wards around there.
Illusion.
So looks like XPC is trying to control the lane a little bit more.
Venom still has a sentry, so he'll be able to de-ward that camp if he really wants to. So I think when it gets to the stage where, you know, they're pushing up to tower now, I think Venom's going to head over and chuck down that sentry ward and try and de-ward that easy camp to get a pull happening.
Now, just interesting, in the mid-fight we have OD versus Quop, and it really is the kind of battle between harass and also damage. So OD's getting out a couple of nice orbs and stealing a bit of Quop's mana there, but Quop's hitting back with a lot of damage and you know, really hurting OD. So pretty even matchup there.
Yeah, so OD's getting the better of the last hits, but Quop is really harassing OD to the point where he's invested in boots, which I think is a bit of a problem because he has no regen left. So Quop just needs to do a couple more daggers, and we could see him needing to go back to base.
He might be starting to bottle crow maybe. What's he got on the crow coming out? Yeah, he is starting to bottle crow. So there we go. It's bottle and boots for OD.
Nice, good investment.
Up top we have a lot of action going on. We've got
both the AA and the Abaddon quite low.
Yeah, and really, I think they chased Slark right down, and now he's coming back. And straight away pegs the
Abaddon's going to go
down.
down here. He pops the wand, and Venomancer is down, and Slark's really backed off. He didn't want to take down and finish off that Abaddon with after the wand saved his life. So, unfortunately, first blood drawn on the side of Annie. So they've done quite well, but OD case room tried to finish off Abaddon, but just couldn't do it.
Just couldn't do it. One hit, that's all he needed, one more hit, but he's a bit dangerous trying to dive that tower, so he decided better of it.
Dyer's mid tower
Ran back,
use a little
stole
help.
a bit of mana from Weaver just for the hell of it, and it's gone back mid.
Aphotic Shield is just such a strong skill in the early stages of the game.
It's a really strong skill, I think, throughout all the game. You know, its ability to dispel stuns is quite underrated. People don't realise this, but you can really protect your carry or anyone that's stunned just by throwing your shield back on and they're straight back into the fight. You know, or any debuff really. So
Trouble
it really
brewing
is
at
a
Radiant's
powerful
bottom
spell.
tower. The Dyer might want to mine their top tower.
So Weaver running low on mana, he should get a little bit of mana back once OD's wears off, and he always goes back up to half mana from that.
Thanks.
Oh, and that clarity's just been popped by the creeps there. So more warding here by XPC. So a really nice observer straight into the lane up there in top lane, and that's going to help him with, you know, scouting out where the supports are in that lane, getting those hits and maximising his farm. So I really like the way both teams are warding at the moment. Annie's decided to go far more defensively for their mid. So as you can see, a nice observer right beside him in mid lane and also on the rune as well.
So Abaddon's sacrificing a little bit of his farm, hasn't got boots up yet. So he's the poor man in this situation, but we have a Queen of Pain with an aphotic shield about to jump in. They have no idea what's about to happen to them.
Big ulti,
out on the Queen of
Benno
Pain.
falls.
Down goes. And Slark's going to follow with a full right click. In comes the Rubik, but he is now on a 4v1 situation. He doesn't want to be here, and he's going to go down.
Mid tower's getting banged up.
So yeah, a bit of an unlucky teleport there by Rubik, or maybe thought that Slark was going to survive a little bit longer.
Dire's top tower. You know
Yeah,
the drill.
great rotation from that Queen of Pain to use ulti nice and early.
Yep. Nice use of the blink as well. Just hiding here, waiting
Dire's
for a
top
time.
tower's getting beat down.
Pouncing on poor old Venno. And those supports are only level 3 too, so she's double their levels. You know,
The Dire
that
might
means a
want to
lot.
mine their top tower.
As you see down bottom,
Radiant's
still
mid
looks
tower's
like
coming
Timbersaw
apart.
is taking quite a bit of damage from those iron shells, and if we click on
Dire's top tower.
Dark's here, yeah,
you
he's
know the
definitely
drill.
leveling up those iron shells. He's got a few vacuum and surge too, so maybe not
The Dire disowned their
prioritizing
top
it,
tower.
but it's still pretty strong. What's going up in top lane?
Now, Rubik might go down here, but I think AA is going to follow. He is so low, and a couple of right clicks from Venom is going to finish him off. He's going to be fine.
Oh, he's still going. Pops a one
Good
charge,
one
and they've
pop.
had to change target. But they do take out a Batten.
Batten's gone down, and he's getting some right-click damage on these guys, and Weaver might actually clean up these two. Good defensive ward from Venno, cutting off the entry for Weaver, and now he's just going to go after the Slark, and Slark is unfortunately going to drop here.
Oh,
Gets the right-click just before the dive.
Radiant's bottom tower
And
ain't a
now
pretty sight right now.
Venno's in a bit of trouble too.
Yep, that ward drops.
Odie's there, but
And
he doesn't seem to be
is he
helping
going to
very
be found
much.
by the Weaver? Oh, and he definitely knows that he's here now.
I'm really
And he-
surprised that Odie's
really?
not.
Is he just going to give up?
Just leaving
Yeah.
poor old Venno to die in the bushes.
He's not going to die. Weaver's just like, I can't be bothered.
Yeah. Now, poor old Queen of Pain's got a bit of
Pain.
trouble, but giving it back
AA
just
coming to back up, and oh, so close. Get that Slark. You've got aphotic shield. Down he goes.
But diving quite deep here, both the Batten and Ancient Apparition, and possibly Courier could go down. But I think the Courier's going to be okay.
Yeah, a little bit of micro, keeping that courier out of harm's way.
And I thought a Batten was
So
far too deep there.
really,
Came back right.
yeah, it's managed to survive again. That aphotic shield doing its work.
And Timber's putting a bit of pressure on this bottom tower down here. But Dux is back to kind of even it out. Now Timber's
Dark with
actually...
two components down on his mech, and yeah, Darkseid managed to miss, unfortunately missed that that vacuum, so he's not going to be able to get that kill on Timbersaw.
Yeah, a bit unlucky there. Now, I was just going to say though, as far as last hits go, both offlaners are doing great jobs, so they're both doing very well for farm, and are going to have their key up soon. So as you said, almost mech up on Darkseid, and Timbersaw, well, he's just gone for his boots, and he's got his mana boots. Not sure, we're probably going Bloodstone next time, I imagine.
Quap is diving hard for this. I think she is in a bad spot. She's dove a little bit too deep. She's not going to be able to wand up with this persistent damage. She ultis for this, and now Venno is on the run. He's juking, letting his wards deal that poison damage, and she is in trouble. She is in a lot of trouble. She needs to TP out if she's got one. But it's on cooldown, 20-second cooldown, and out pops another ward. It's going to do some more right click.
Oh, Venno!
And a Gale, and she is in so much trouble.
Oh, Rubik's picked her up. I think she's gone.
Rubik pulls her out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great follow-up there by Annie.
She was too greedy there.
And Venno, great play, just
Greed for the
sneaking out.
Darkseer, greed for the Venno. Yeah. Amazing juking by the Venno. He's really shown his worth in this, and I think so far with that play, that's an MVP play right there.
That was,
Like
yeah,
Delia doing really, really well.
really great job. And it's so important because he really, took up a lot of Quap's time, and Quap didn't even end up getting the
Dire's
second
mid
for that
tower's
shot.
having
First,
Radiant's bottom
and
tower
dying
seen
for
better
it.
days. Radiant's toughened up their structures. Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
So we've got Chakram picked up for Rubik. So we're going to be able to see a little bit of damage being dealt right back to that Timbersaw and that slow in the area. Haste picked up for Venno, and he's probably going to go in here.
scouting out that top lane.
He hasn't got Poison Nova yet. He's not quite level 6, but I think we're going to see a team engagement very, very soon here at mid.
So he's got the double on the Gale too, which means he's still going to be doing a bit more damage with that Gale, which is really important. You know, level 1 Gale does heap slow but no damage now, so it's good to see that he's done that. Now, Slark's running around top, and looks like he's...
best do something about
here we
that
go,
bottom
teleport on
tower.
bottom. But Duxie had already cleaned him up.
Queen of Pain gone again.
Yep.
And this is bad plays from the Quap. She started off really well, good rotations, but no
Dire's
kills.
top towers get beat down.
We saw AA trying to finish off that Darkseer, but not gonna get there.
Oh, a lot of damage out there from that Timbersaw Chakra. Oh, and almost going for
And that's two timber chains have been whiffed for Timbersaw.
Yeah, very unlucky. He probably could have finished off that Rubik there.
Yeah, and on the side of XPC, it seems that they, after the laning phase, had the upper hand, but they've given it away with some greedy overplays by the Queen of Pain, and some unfortunate, oh, excuse me, some unfortunate kill misses or kill opportunities missed by the Timbersaw.
Yeah, so, but not. I don't think they've lost their momentum so far. Look, it looks like they're still. You know, trying to put a bit of a push on mid, and mid's responded obviously, and he's brought in a few people. But I think you're right that momentum's kind of changed a little bit. It was kind of one-sided in XPC's way. They were starting to get a little bit of a roll on, but Annie's not lying down. And as you saw, those amazing plays from Veno, Ruby coming in, supporting and finishing it up, and you know, Darkseer's been really hammering on Timbersaw too. So they're doing
All right, carry on.
So do you think we'll see a blink dagger on the Darkseer? Seems to be a bit of a new go. It's pretty cool.
I haven't seen a blink dagger on a Darkseer actually played before. I think he's going to go more of a support aura build. So after mech, with the amount of nuke damage, I think he's probably going to invest in a pipe. And in comes a big team fight. Slark immediately goes invis, but there's a lot of AoE damage coming the way from Quap. Slark's probably going to go down here. He manages to hook onto the Quap with a jump. And yeah, Abaddon's going to be able to survive. The Weaver drops. And Abaddon's probably going to drop now because he is... Yeah, he's trying to finish off that Darkseer. Not going to happen. And now that is a 3 for 2 going the way of Annie. So while Annie were on the back foot with an initiation, they've managed to claw back a couple of kills and actually get the better of this. So XPC a little bit sticking around a little bit too long in that team fight, I reckon.
Yeah, maybe a little bit risky, maybe diving a little bit too hard. And Weaver, I'm not sure how she got caught. I think Slark actually pegged her, so she didn't actually get away. So, you know, I think if Weaver had gotten away then, you know, it would have been a little bit more even, but XPC definitely, Annie definitely
Yeah,
another big fight.
Abaddon's probably going to go down again.
Yeah. Huge fight, lots going on.
We have a silence.
Teleports coming in from AA.
Oh,
We got Darkseer running on for the beautiful back there, getting away on and really healing up. But OD is not out of trouble. And
OD's going to go down.
Yeah,
Weaver's going to finish him off.
Clean up. And if you look at both Pop and Weaver, they've got that extra damage buff from AA. So they're just dishing out a lot of damage. This Rubik's just
And Rubik has nowhere to go. He is just stuck. And Darkseer is going to pop his ult. And whoa! Huge amount of damage coming from the Darkseer. That's a double kill when it looked like he was just going to melt. Amazing turnaround for the Darkseer. And ended up getting 2 kills when it could have been much, much worse for him.
So maybe XPC
Dire
a little
structures
bit better on
looking
that one, but
fortified.
unjust. And as they once again lost to their
Mid-towers
carries. So
haven't taken trouble brewing everything.
it's
Mass
not an
TP's coming
overwhelming
in
win.
to try and defend this tower. Nice timber chain out from the Timbersaw, stopping that Slark tether.
Radiant lost one of them bottom towers.
I'm not sure if we've got a timber glitch here, but that chakram seems to be still hanging around. Not sure if you can see that in your one, but
Yeah.
Radiant's mid tower's
and
getting
tower
what
down.
for?
And Odie did get that one, so Sub-Zero not able to deny the mid tower there, and Odie picking it up. So nice little gold injection
Yeah,
there.
that chakram's a glitch.
I wonder what Rubik's just on now. Oh, he's gone for the Whirling Death now, so he's just picking
Whirling Death.
Timbersaw's skills and really using the fact that he's got so much mana and ability to cast to his advantage by stealing those
Yeah, he
cheap
could find
spells.
himself in a bad position here. Tries to get the Slark, but doesn't make it. Good freeze. Managed to keep Slark sticking around with that cold feet and got him stuck. And Slark should have used Dark Pact to make sure that he didn't get cold feet happening there.
Maybe he'd used it just before an AA.
And purged a little bit too soon.
So most of the tower's still up for Annie. They've only lost one, and on the side of the Radiant, XPC has lost 2. So still a lot of towers still up at the 16-17 minute mark. You know, which is probably a little bit slow for this time of the game. You probably expect to see a few more, but it looks like they're trying to go for this mid again, and it is almost down. So maybe Weaver can finish it off now, but then it will let it be easy.
Yep. So silence.
AA ult coming in, nails 3 of them, great, nails 4 of them, excellent ult.
Seems the Dire's mid tower's been disowned.
No follow-up, but it's still going to deal a fair bit of harass damage just for a short period of time, but the mech's just going to counteract that.
So down below we've got...
Now Weaver choosing an Orchid is an interesting choice. I haven't seen that very often on a Weaver, going the Orchid of Malevolence. So, I wonder what going to be building into next. Going for Treads, and OD, now that he's got push sticks, probably going to be saving for a Hex. That's generally your standard build, and I think it's going to go quite well hexing the Timbersaw especially, but even the Weaver or the Quap will go pretty well getting a Hex.
Yeah, that's not a bad
Weaver
idea.
might be able to pick off.
You know what, I don't...
Suck here.
I don't mind the Orchid on Weaver, you know. Obviously he wants to stop Slark and OD from, you know, using their disables against him, I'd say. So this way he's got a lot more kill potential against OD, definitely. Slark still going to be, you know, quite a bit of a handful, but you know, I quite like it. I think he's going to be able to run around and do a little bit more with that Orchid.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm worried about is that he has no extra HP with that item, so he's still incredibly squishy.
Yeah, and I guess they're just banking on that athletic shield a little bit more, maybe. Still trying to use that, but it's not going to last much longer. It's not going to be strong enough to protect him, so yeah, right. So maybe he'll have to go for one of those protection items next. The Lincoln's or...
Bloodstone is up on Timber.
Oh, that's never a good sign. Or it's a great sign for XPC, but always a scary sign for the opposite side.
And even more exciting is Quap is going to go an Ags. So we're going to see an Ag Scepter on the Quap, meaning that we're going to have a 40 second cooldown on a straight 40 second cooldown on her ult.
Yeah, and she's a very competent Quap player. She really has got off some excellent flanks and already, so I think that's a good play. There's another one.
OD area is dropped. You see the banish. Timbersaw's still hanging around, but he doesn't want to drop and lose those Bloodstone charges. AA ult comes in, doesn't hit anyone. That was a bit of a whiff on the AA ult, and now Timbersaw's in a little bit of trouble. If he goes down here, he's going to lose all his charges.
Oh, great Timbersaw
Timber chain.
Took 2 of them out.
Amazing.
And now they're
That was
going
an
for the
incredible
OD. Can
Timber
they
chain.
get
He
him?
might even manage to get OD here.
I think
He's
he's going to
trying.
charge out
He's
of
trying
that.
so hard.
Wow, so that is just courage and bravery and honour on Sergeant Timbersaw there. He was on nothing. He turned back.
He needs to get out.
He's gone.
He's going down. He's losing those charges that he managed to rack up. Oh, good deny. He knew he was dying.
Oh, did he commit suicide? Good job. So really big plays there from Sergeant
Yeah.
Timbersaw. Going back on little health P for his mates, taking 2 out. Awesome. We got a little bit of,
and that was
got some jungle farming here from Venom.
Zachary MVP plays.
Yeah, totally. So Venom seems to be actually doing a little bit of farming, and you know, he has actually been, like we haven't seen him in the team fights as much, pumping out the big novas and whatnot. So he hasn't got a lot saved. I'm not sure what he's going for, but he seems to be jungling a little bit.
Yeah, a wall of wards, terrifying to view.
Yeah.
So he's got an urn. Yeah, it is interesting to see what he's going, because he's currently playing the 5th position, and we're seeing Darkseer getting all those major items. So an ultimate orb coming out with Darkseer, meaning that he's probably going to go for. Do you think he's going for a Hex or a Skadi?
Probably a Hex, I'd say.
Yeah, again,
I'd say that'd be given.
that's a Hex is.
And that's probably directly aimed straight at Clock Weaver.
Yeah.
I think they're just getting annoyed. They're getting annoyed that these guys bounce around the screen all over the place. Oh, big Orchid on Slark. He is trying to run away, but he's got... Well, he's come back in, so he's survived.
Massive amount of damage from that Timbersaw, but he is in so much trouble. He is just surrounded by enemies. He's doing his best to survive, and that Poison Nova isn't ticking down much. So that's 3 down. Darkseer's down, Slark's down, Rubik's down, and in comes Timbersaw again, pops the wand, and he's just going to be moving around. He's got the aphotic shield, and Venno is so very low. Weaver needs to finish that off. He's just man-fighting this OD, and down he goes. Timbersaw finishes him off, and he can almost get
What
this
is
next
Venno
gear.
thinking? Why are you going back in on that? Oh, he's trying.
Oh,
look at this! I think he might actually get the Abaddon. Very nice. So that's why he went back in.
Yeah. Those wards just dealing so much DOT damage over time.
Yeah.
But they're probably going to lose at least half damage to this bottom tier 2 tower is going to be the result of that win for XPC in that team fight.
Yeah, they were just showing that they were just too tanky. The Aphotic Shield on Weaver making him tanky and fast, and then Timbersaw and Abaddon just hanging around to the very end, just absolute meat shit.
Yeah, tanking it up. Already pops up with a banish, and I think we might see a little bit of good blink. Nice quick reactions, but Rubik's going to pick him up, and Rubik does not want a bar of that. He's just like, I've made a huge mistake. When Quap turns around and starts dealing massive damage.
I love it. He's kind of like the Chihuahua taking on the Rottweiler there.
Yeah, exactly. You've noticed that his entire team had just left him to burn. In comes the Quap again. Massive vacuum into OD ult. That was great teamwork for XPC. Sorry, for Annie. And a little bit of a turnaround here. The AA ult pops out. OD's in a little bit of a bind, but he's going to be fine. He's just going to bottle right back up.
Yeah, look, they definitely show they had the damage there. They absolutely and Pop too. So very good effort there, because like they're very tanky players, and Luke's players trying to burst down.
Bad shape.
But it looks like we've got the response here from XPC coming in, and the big Orchid on OD.
We've got the surge happening for Darkseer, trying to save his teammates. He might actually drop here with the body block coming from the Timbersaw. A little bit of a slow, but Surge is right back up, and he's actually going to be able to get out.
This is just an ambulance relay. First Darkseer comes in and saves OD, he gets out. Then Venno comes in and saves Darkseer, he gets out.
Radiant structures must have been fortified.
massive kiting coming from Annie, and making sure that Timbersaw doesn't fill his bloodstone and get any more kills.
Again, a nice guy there on bottom tower too. So still both teams doing pretty well, aren't they? Pretty even.
Oh, for sure. And I don't know. I want to say that XPC are kind of in the lead, but at the moment, I'm not sure. the XPC have won a fair amount of team fights, but Annie have really answered with a few kills of their own and punished that overextension of both Timbersaw and Queen of Pain.
Yeah, absolutely. They just kind of hung around in the jungle a little bit too long, pushed out a little bit too far, and they
Dire's
just
mid
had
tower
nothing to do
won't
with it.
last much longer.
A few of them were already down, they didn't have much damage or mana still up. And they kind of paid the price for it then. Annie hanging around a bit too long. So now just a little bit of passive play from bottom lane. As you can see, we've got Quap, Timbersaw and the Weaver just hanging around, maybe scoping out Rosh just to see what's going on. Keep an eye on the Ancients too. It's always very important to keep an eye on both.
You know what I
Ancients.
didn't notice?
What was that, Bo?
With AA picked up a Midas.
Really? A late?
I'm not sure when it was picked up, but he is now, after that Midas, pick up 2 parts into his Ag Scepter to really amp up his damage over time from his ulti.
Okay, so, well, that's pretty interesting. So he's definitely getting a little bit of priority farm and kind of ability to kind of just, you know, yeah, to farm up a little bit and get that scepter up. That's 2 quite big items. So obviously they're counting on AA to be...
Once that Scepter... Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Once that Scepter comes online, that's going to really turn around team fights.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And you know, he's going to be tank, he's going to be dishing out a lot of damage, he's going to be giving all of his teammates a lot of damage too. It'll be interesting to see what his next choice after that will be. Probably Yule's Scepter, and he'll just get straight in there and start man fighting, I guess.
Yeah, and Darkseer's got a cloak, so he's working towards a pipe
yeah.
of insight, which is going to be really useful up against the OD nuke as well as the oh sorry, not the OD nuke, the Ancient Apparition, the Quap, the Timbersaw, all that magic damage nuke that's coming their way,
Yeah,
and that's going to stop a lot of it for his team.
Absolutely. Especially the Quap ulti. She's just been nailing those and really dealing a lot of damage, especially the supports, which is what she needs to do. And she's, proving that she's a pretty good Quap player. It's pretty fun to see. Always good to see, these exciting characters played well. So what's Slark building?
Slark is
He's saving up for something.
Slark is building towards, I think, BKB. I think he's got an Ogre Club. I think he's going to go the way of BKB to stop that.
Yeah, it's either
magical
that
damage that's coming the way.
Yeah, I was thinking possibly Sanjin Yash too.
What else do you think he'll be going?
He wouldn't be going for a halberd, so I guess the only thing he'd be going for is Sanjin Yasha. But I much prefer the BKB idea. I think that's going to be important. Not that XPC has so much lockdown, so that important, but the extra armor and extra survivability will be good.
Yeah. And with that cloak, the cloak was actually purchased by the Abaddon. So great vacuum from the Darkseer, and now he's got them on the... He didn't manage to get anyone on the wall, but...
Wow, really disrupting that Rosh there.
It's a really bad spot for these guys to be in.
Yep, Timbersaw's come up to try and help, but now everyone's all over the place, all split up. Weaver goes down.
Down drops the Weaver. Quap is out. OD's getting a lot of damage, and AA manages to drop OD. Timbersaw still man fighting. He is in the thick of it with a huge amount of health, but he's running out of mana. He's only got a couple more chakrams left, a couple more timber chains, and he wants this, but I don't think he can get it. With the Darkseer surge that's going to be coming out, there's going to be no slow happening there. He's not going to be able to finish these guys off.
And it looks like the action hasn't stopped down here as well. There's still beautiful chakram by Timbersaw finishing off this Slark that Abaddon had come down to keep going on. So he's been in this fight the whole time, but he's just been...
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. He's been locked out
And
now. He can't get past
it gets
the
to
wards.
the stage where Timbersaw is in a bit of trouble.
Look at this. Look at this Venno. MVP again. He also has been in this fight the whole time, running around, warding everything, just dropping as much poison as possible. And he just blocked Abaddon from coming up the stairs to help Timbersaw with his wards. Awesome.
Great job. Timbersaw managed to Timber Chain TP out, so very lucky and nice plays by him. But Rosh, sitting on half health, is probably going to drop now for Annie.
Wow, these guys are just fighting it out to the absolute max. It's just awesome to see. don't know where it's going. Royal Venom's stuck up on the top still.
No.
Roche won't be
And A's
stopped
he's
by
alright.
the dire.
AA still scouting out a Cosmic Shot with that ulti again. And when he gets that step drop, it's only going to be quicker and more powerful. So, sorry, not quicker, but the cooldown will be reduced. And the scepter is up.
Yes. So that's a maximum a maximum length of no regen time. So if he uses that well in a team fight, that's going to mean that mech from Darkseer is going to be absolutely useless.
Yeah, absolutely right. And not only that, like he really farmed the rest of that scepter up fast. That Midas, it seems like he's using it to good advantage, and it hasn't really affected his team. It's not like he hasn't been able to be there to support or to help or be absent from the game. So great job on the AA.
Now I am a little bit dubious about this Darkseer sheepstick choice, which has just been finished off and picked up by him. I don't know if this is going to pay off. I think a pipe would have been more useful for his team, and he would have had it up last team fight. So it'll be really up to him to see how he uses this sheepstick to make the most out of these fights coming Annie's way, because they are slowly clawing back the lead that XPC did have with that Roshan pickup.
Yeah, it's interesting. So with the sheepstick pickup, it really assumes that they're more worried about key players as opposed to just the general damage that's been dropped down. As you can see, Spin-U's great effect there on Timbersaw, but he's managed to get away.
He is still fine.
Wow. But now we have everyone else joining the
BKB
fight.
pop from Slark. And he is trying to get away. The Slark is still on half health, and he's managing to somehow get out alive. I don't know how. Timbersaw doing what he can. Huge AoE drops the Queen of Pain. Now down goes the OD, but he's going to pop right back up with Aegis, and he's going to start man fighting against this AA. AA is going to drop because of just the pure damage output, but down goes the Slark.
Down goes the
by
Slark.
the
Buyback from the
Abadament
Veno.
just drop him. They want Darkseer.
Oh, and Adam really diving, just showing once again how tanky he is. I think he might be diving too deep here. I don't think he's got this. Now he's come across both OD, Darkseer, and Veno. He's gone. Timsaw's coming to help.
In comes Timbersaw trying to finish him off.
Wow, and he got that OD in it this time. The OD actually never got back to heal, and he picked him up that time. But Darkseer's not going to let him get away with it.
Yeah, the vacuum actually, as far as I know, I think there was a change to it that it doesn't interrupt TPs, I think?
No,
So
he just used it to
click from
interrupt
him.
the TP. I thought? I think that's how he just disrupted it then.
I'll have to look that up.
Now, look, I'm going to have to say that I agree with your point about the sheepstick too. As you saw then, Annie really struggled with the overall damage and magic damage that was just being pumped onto them, and a few of them had to buy back, and they really dropped early. And once again, these tanks on XPC side got to run around. So I think that pipe might have been more helpful for the team, a little bit more sustainability for the whole team, to really try and just help them against these tanks. Like Abaddon and Timbersaw are just so hard to kill, and they're always the last to die. They have spin around the entire fight, and that's not what you want. He can just do so much damage, and every time he gets a kill, it's just more XP and more money for him. He's got great farm. He's got
and
travels.
the fact that yeah, and he's got mostly magic damage. You know, taking away the pure damage that he gets when he cuts down trees in those attacks. Most of his damage is just magic.
Oh, beautiful kill on Veno there. He thought he was away. He tried to hide the trees, get the teleport off, but Timbersaw and Quab saw him and smashed him.
A huge explosion of damage, and he just melted.
It was like a giant worm firework. on the bottom way.
Oh wow! And Weaver just smashing down that Rubik, and now he's got the time lapse out, and all that damage that OD dealt to him goes for naught, and he's going to go down here.
Wow. What a good job there,
Radiant's
Weaver.
top tower.
And, yep.
And now Darkseer has found himself a little bit too far.
Radiant structures like this.
Oh, there's that
Guess
shift
what's
to gate
happening
again,
to
so
Dyer's bottom
saved his life there. But Weaver's not giving up the chase. She's fast and she's coming after him. Oh,
The Dire best do something about that bottom tower.
Can't cancel that TP.
so OD showing that he was just a little bit squishy there, getting beaten up by the Weaver. Oh, now they're using it to their
Darkseer's
advantage.
going to drop.
Yeah.
And now
there's Gem on
Slark
the
is in a
ground.
lot of trouble.
Fight over the gem between the
BKB
two
is
supports.
saving his life from AA, and now Queen of Pain might go down. Oh, manages to drop just in time, and then Queen just TP's right out, and now Veno in a bad spot. Abaddon just tanking everything. One charges, he's still got his ulti left over. Down goes Veno, and they're just sitting around in base doing whatever the hell they want.
Not even worried, are they?
Do something about that bottom tower. No breaking through.
Nah,
the
XPC really strong lineup this game, and as even though they looked to be coming back last game, didn't manage to do it, but they've shown that they can deal the damage and they can stand up to Annie and fight with the best of them.
Absolutely. So maybe XPC just drafting a little bit to their strengths, or drafting to strength with some of the tanks. But it seems like they've been able to be a little bit more resilient, still dish out that damage and get some really big items up. And now you can see that now they're really hitting those barracks hard. And there's just not much I can do about it.
happy place. A fond farewell to the Dire's bottom barracks.
And just with that chakram alone, it makes the entire team have to back off. And Weaver's starting to hit really hard with his items, with his Manta.
Another
He's managed to
pop
pick
ult
up.
there. That was a beautiful free-person op. Is that another gem on the ground there, or is that the gem that was dropped before? I don't know, gems everywhere.
I have no idea, actually. That was... there's only one. There's one picked up for Psychedelia at the moment by Benno.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, they're going to rotate mid now. Those lanes nice and pushed. And
Dire's
probably
mid
get two
tower
barracks
will last much longer.
And they've only got a Darkseer and a Venno up, so there's nothing that they can do at this point.
There's really not much, unfortunately. That damage over time now, it doesn't stack up. Well, it still stacks, but it's not as effective against these
The Dire's
characters which are higher
mid-range.
levels now. So where Venno is having a lot
And
of...
looking at the...
Dire's mid-range.
Yeah, looking at the net worth, they're four out of the 5 heroes for XPC are in front in terms of net worth. So Annie right now just feeling the pain with how poor they are.
There's a big ulti, but Venno goes down again. Timbersaw not even worrying about
Ulti
this Venno
popped out for
ulti.
Queen of Pain. No. In comes OD trying to deal some damage and drop down this quap. Manages to do it, but now Timbersaw is going to probably take down this... well, was going to say take down this Clark, but he has a BKB. No damage happening here, and a deny coming from Timbersaw, stopping that XP.
That's Twice has done that
Again.
great job using that Bloodstone. Now, I think... Oh, he's also got the Hex Stick now too. Now, I think the Blade Mail
might
pickup
wanna
for
mine that
Timbersaw
top
was
tower.
a real game changer. That was when, instead of just being a tank, they started losing so much health from the attack. He was just doing so much more damage through offense and defense. I think that's when he starts to tear it up.
Yeah. So it looks like game is over for Annie at this point. They've only got 1 Rax and tower left. Oh, well, 2 towers because they've still got tier 2 at top, but it's not looking good, and I'm not sure what they can do at this point to actually get back in the game. So Slark trying to get this Timbersaw, but Timbersaw's just man-fighting 3 of them at once. In comes the Darkseer to try to do something. He manages the Hex and kills the Slark before going down.
And that gem is still on the ground again.
Dire's mid tower could use a little help.
Wow. Well, Annie's definitely not
gonna
giving
go down
up.
here.
They're still trying everything they can to try and stall this push, but that's another team right there. There's just not much they can
Dire's
do.
mid tower is
There's
having
nothing they can do.
technical
That's,
difficulties.
I feel for Annie. I think that's GG.
Yeah. Yeah, and very, very well done for XPC to really come back in game 2. And really, this was just an impressive show
So
of
impressed.
skills from both teams.
So impressed. Like, these guys have got some really skillful players. The Timbersaw, the Quap, just doing an amazing job, and that Abaddon really helping. And then the other side, the Veno, he was, really effective early. And, the Darkseid was doing a pretty good job too. So, very, very cool game to watch.
And I think, as you're saying, Quap, great player, was a little bit aggressive early on in the game, and unfortunately gave away a couple of kills with being a little bit too greedy. But she still managed to get a farm up, get her Acceptor, and just ulti everyone all the time in the face. And there was so much damage coming away of Annie that they couldn't stand up to it. And the Timbersaw, man, he would not go down. He was just sitting there in the middle of the fights, dealing all that magic damage.
And just so tanky.
And there was just nothing that they could do.
Yeah, I think Quap may have watched one too many Verbose games, possibly. and gone, that's how I'm going to carry. But it doesn't matter, they did awesome. So, and just a really great game from both teams.
Yeah, so amazing matchup. One game goes to Annie, one game goes to XPC. So I can't wait to see what comes from both of these teams in the future of the AD2L tournament here on Dota and Twitch, whether you're streaming us or whether you're watching on Dota TV. So we are 4Stacks Casting. Thank you so much for listening to us and watching. We got some more AD2L competitions coming up for the rest of today, both the European League, which is on right now, and the North American League coming up in the Arvo here in Australia, Eastern Standard Time. So I've been Berkeley, joining me is Rock, and we are very, very proud to bring you this matchup, best of two, one versus one all, Annie versus XPC. Stick around, we got some more Dota coming your way.
See you later!